Hello, everybody. And before we get into introductions, as always, and for the last time, there is a brief open. It's been a long, hard winter, but the spring is coming. You all live in a small, quaint village. There's lush greenery all around, and you sit in this village at the foot of a tall mountain. No peaks, no valleys outside of that mountain. You have always been here. And as far as you're concerned, never leaving would be just fine. And it is with that that we say welcome to Nerds with Dice and the finale of Ironsworn, the Valley. Let's go around and we'll start from the bottom of overlay and work our way around. Rise, why don't you start us off?
Hello, I am Rise. I am playing Roar. It's been a long time since I've done one of these. Uh, yeah, I'm excited to be back here. It's been a while. Hopefully, I actually remember how to do anything. But yeah,
Yes, I think everyone is like, oh God, please don't call on me. Speaking of not calling on people, hi Danny.
I knew it was gonna be me, and I knew that's exactly how you would call on me because I feel like this is a targeted. Hi, it's me, Danny, Danny's Corner. My pronouns are she, they. Today, I'm going to be returning as Afra. And for just so the people know, let's make this clear right now. If you watch a previous episode, and some things I do today, or a skill I may or may not have today, is different from the last episode. No, it's not. I'm gaslighting you. And I know what I'm doing, and you don't have to worry about it. I've never been inconsistent in my life. Thank you so much, Sim.
never.
Oh yeah, I forgot that I'm not popcorning. Going up to Abhishek.
Hey everyone, my name is Abhishek Batange. I will be playing Firian Zine, our lovely, bombastic, funny, perfect, and totally not waxing poetically or, wasn't totally introspective last time, Archer of the group. So we'll see how that turns out in this finale.
Yes, and Abhilasha?
Hi everyone, I'm Avilasha Percival, and I'm going to be playing Suneri for the last time. And I would like to extend the same message that Afra said, that if you see me playing with slightly different stats, or there's something a little inconsistent from the last episode, no, there isn't. Vibes. It's just vibes. It's been a lot of time. There's been a lot of time that has passed, but I'm really happy to see how this ends, considering I love this character very much, and I've had a great time playing with everyone here.
And I've had a great time playing with you all as well. Last but certainly not least, Keldry.
Hello. Um, I am Keldry. My pronouns are am, air, or they, them. Um, I am playing Fen. And I'm sorry if I'm a little soft. My audio decides to like murder itself every single time that I try to do this. Decided to do this to me last week, and it's doing it to me this week too. And yeah, the fact that you said start out at the bottom of a mountain is just driving me a little up a wall right now. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sin. And I did remember my stuff because I remembered my notes. So I will hopefully be actually coherent tonight. All right. That's me. Thank you.
And thank you for coming to all of our TED Talks. Yeah, and because I forget things as well, you can see in chat there are a bunch of links. Don't forget to support the channel. You've got YouTube, you've got our merch and Discord links all in the chat. So my apologies for not shouting that out at the beginning of things. I am Synthetic, your GM for this evening. And we're going to go ahead and why don't all of you roll the 2d10s, and we're going to start with whoever rolls lowest.
This feels like cruel and unusual punishment. Okay.
You want them added together or
Added together, yeah.
13?
13.
11.
10.
Keldry?
What's 6 plus 7? I can't do
13.
13. So
Am I the lowest?
It's
Me.
That'd be sick.
I was
Oh,
Firion is where we're starting. So you've been living in this village of 20, 30 people for as long as you can remember. What does your day-to-day look like in this small village?
Day to day for Furion would probably consist of he'd probably most likely do a couple of many things is probably the best way I can put it. Hunting would definitely be a big one. At night, going out finding food. During the day, he'd probably either do some I forgot the name of the skill that it was called. Do some like divination work basically for the village if they needed it. But would also just be like the comedic figure that he normally is and like play with any children or like be that sort of entertaining like class clown type figure as well.
Okay. And would you go ahead and make a heart roll for me?
Alrighty. Trying to remember how to actually roll in this game.
As a reminder, you are rolling 2 d10s, and you are also rolling a d6 and adding your modifier. And your goal is between adding up the d6 and your modifier to get above the d10s. If one of them is above, it's a weak hit. if you're above 1 d10, you're a weak hit. If you're above a with both, then it's a strong hit. And I think if you roll both as the same number, both of the 10s is the same number, it's a critical. But criticals aren't always good in this system.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, I got a 5 on my d6 roll with my modifier added, and I got a 2 and an 8 on my challenge on my d10s.
Okay. So you said it was 5 with your modifier?
Yeah, 5 with modifier included, and then 2 and 8 on the d10s.
Okay. So light hit. And trying to pull up. That's what I wanted. So you see, for a brief second, it looks like there's snow falling. But it's spring and it hasn't snowed for well over a month. Or spring is coming and it hasn't snowed in over a month. Must be your imagination. So, next, I was going to do for peek behind the curtain. Did we lose?
We did lose Abhilasha. I am trying to figure out where the... Oh, wait, hopefully this works.
Okay.
I think because they can hear people, so I was trying to fix real quick.
I was afraid that the glitch that happened for me before stream was happening again, and that would have been the worst.
Sorry,
news.
everyone just like legit just went off. Just I couldn't see anybody.
That's
Now I
weird.
still can't
Okay.
see.
That's what happened to me. It was very low.
I will say, Abhilasha, if you have any issues, also just direct message me, because your connection via Video Ninja is looks like the worst out of everybody's. So just a heads up.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
case. So if we lose
Okay.
Abhilasha again, just refresh the page. It should be fine.
Okay. Well, then, since we have them now, let's go ahead and...
Is Sin back for everybody, or is it just me? Okay, yeah, then that I'm gonna have to refresh again. I'm so sorry. One
Okay.
second.
No worries.
Let's go ahead and work our way around the table otherwise then, and we'll come back to Abhilasha. Danny, what does Afra's day-to-day look like in this small village?
Afra's day-to-day isn't anything too big. I imagine she honestly spends most of her time just following around Roar. And when she's not following around Roar, she's climbing something to then watch Roar from afar, or any of her other friends, to see what they're doing. Because she's sort of not necessarily like reverted back, but you can tell for her, monotony is just watching people and wanting the feeling of being in company or feeling needed. So she spends her time making herself needed by everybody and making it everybody else's problem. So yeah, whether that means following people around. What did I just say? Following people around, carrying things for people, jumping around on like walls and rooftops to follow somebody until they're like, I wonder where Afra is, and then she just appears out of nowhere like magic. That's sort of
Okay.
that's sort of her deal. But probably the most I would be like hunting with Roar or training with Roar, I imagine.
Then that makes perfect sense. Go ahead and make a heart roll and add 2 to it in
Okay,
addition to your normal.
cool. You know how you just explained how the dice system works?
Yes, you're going to roll 2 d10s
Uh-huh.
and a d6.
The challenge and the action. That's
Yes.
the two, right. Okay.
And were you rolling in the
In the character
program?
sheet. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're comparing the action to
Mhm.
the challenge. And you
Got
want
it.
the action to be higher than the challenge.
Bet. Okay. Say no more. Let me do math real quick. Okay. So that is if it meets it, does it beat it?
Meets it does not beat it, I don't think. They said questioningly. It's been a while since I played the system, so let's say no.
Okay.
And if that makes it more difficult, then it's additional challenge for the finale,
You
as
know
I
what?
always
So
plan.
true. I love that for us. Then I failed.
Okay, both now. Going back.
Okay.
Did you add 2 to it in addition to?
I did. I rolled a 1.
Oh, okay. Then you hear a slight wind behind you and nothing more. Go ahead and decrease your spirit by 1.
Oh! What a good start.
And speaking of good starts, Rise, what does Roar's day look like?
So Roar has established a small garden that basically will spend his mornings just working in the garden, weeding, checking things, teaching Afra different plants and what you can do with them, things like that. After that, I generally try to find ways to be helpful around the village for whoever might need it. You know, uh, dragging Afra along to help move things or shooing Afra away to not be in the way of something. Generally just trying to be a helpful presence in the community, and generally later in the evening would be probably spent in the forest around them, tracking, always looking for things, looking for signs of things. Not necessarily anything in particular, but whatever might be around or getting close to the village, things that maybe they should be aware of, just because.
Okay. Go ahead and do your plus heart roll as well.
Okay. Let's see what we get here. Oh, God. Got really lucky. I only rolled a 2 on the action dice, so that's a 4 total, but I only rolled a 2 and a 1 on the challenge dice.
Okay. So, strong hit. You see in the distance somebody that you knew from your past for a brief moment. Could you describe one more time the person that had been appearing to you?
It's a woman. Plain village clothes, blonde hair tied back into a very basic ponytail, wrapped with just a bit of string, basically to hold the hair in place. Pale, but with, you know, how if you spend a lot of time in the sun, sometimes you get those spots, and you know what it does to skin. And possibly middle age, kind of hard to tell. Obviously, someone who has spent a lot of times working and, you know, being exposed to the elements. Definitely not the sheltered type.
And then she's gone. Moving on from there, Abhilasha, are you ready for Suneri?
Yeah, let's go.
What is Suneri's day-to-day looking like in this small village?
Suneri kind of has she set up a farm somewhere somewhere isolated on top of on just further away, a little bit further away from the village, mostly because that's where all the good grass is, and her cows and chicken are that's the best place for them. She's opened up her own sort of meat farm. She takes care of her cows, and then she also serves as butcher for the for the village, selling the meat that she cultivates from, like, the animals that she rears for slaughter. There's something about the practice of cutting of making of like making beef and selling it, and the entire process of caring for the animals, and then doing all that work for chickens, beef, whatever animals that she can get she rears. There's something very familiar about the cutting process, the blood. It's But it feels healthier in a way. She can never quite place why, but there's something that when she sells this meat back to the village, she has her daily interactions as she goes into the village and speaks to various people, whoever wants meat and stuff, or eggs or whatever. There's something very pleasing and almost like a some small burden keeps lifting off of a very pressured heart every time somebody appreciates the work that she has done with her own two hands and with her own knife.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and make a heart roll as well?
Okay, 2d10 and 1d6. Okay.
Yep. And add your heart to the d6.
Oh boy. Okay. I got a 4, or I got a 3 plus 1 4 of on the d6, and a 7 and a 9 on the challenge die.
Okay. You will also take 1 spirit damage. And nothing seems off about this day for you. And I'm really glad you didn't roll low, Peltry, because I'm glad to end off with how the mountain Finn is doing.
Oh, geez. Okay.
What does the day-to-day look like for Finn, the mountain, sitting outside of this small village?
Well, then I believe it was established a little while in a lot of Afra's stories, was known for helping travelers or there just being convenient luck around those who lived around the mountain and found you could find food easier, you could find herbs easier. There, if you get lost, a lot of times people just kind of got led back to the village. So the thing is, Fen was never doing any of that on purpose. um, and actually generally keeping people safe, like if there were mountain slides or things that would, just miss the village. I feel like several they annoy a lot of other spirits. Not on purpose. But it absolutely drives other natural spirits up a wall.
Love that. And as I asked everyone else to, please make a heart roll.
And this is where I might have to ask, because my note-taking and things might come back to bite me. Am I leaving everything on my sheet like we are not considered rested if we have...
The only thing that will matter in this instance is spirit, and you can start at 5.
Okay. That's good, because I was at 3. That's why I had to ask.
Remember in this moment how magnanimous I was.
All right. Calm down.
I rolled a 6 on the action and a 1 and a 7 on the challenge.
Okay. So, you feel nothing different yourself, but there is a slight rumbling that comes from the very bowels of the earth. And snow does indeed start to fall. Now, as all of you know, snow falling at this point in the season is really bad. Crops have already been planted. The warm season was about to happen. And so the village is in a bit of a disarray, even at the sight of a few flurries. As you see this fall, I would like you all to make either an edge or an iron roll, and we'll go around and everyone can tell me their results. But you can do whichever is better for you. And I'll start this time kind of reversing back around. Keltry, would you give me your results first?
Okay. Action 3, oh wait, no, I'm adding iron. 6, so action 6 and 1 and 6 on the challenge.
Okay. So, light hit on that. And this one, I'm going to give you the collective result together. I'm keeping track of how much success you all have. So I think if I'm going right, next would be Abhilasha. I'm going in
Chat,
reverse order, trying.
chat, I need you to know that before we started this game, I had mentioned to Sin that it is very early in the morning for me here, and if in the finale something happens to me and I'm up this early, we will have words. The problem is I said it in front of my dice. I got so on my challenge die,
Oh no.
I got 6 and a 10, and I got a
Mm,
5 on my iron in total.
oof.
Like I said,
So
I said it in front of my dice.
that's unfortunate, and you would be at a 3 spirit as a result. Just actually, before you go to 3 in spirit, you had a 6 and a 10, so that's a rough roll either way. If anyone did not track their momentum, I remember everyone was at least an 8. So for rolls, this roll and future rolls, if you want to use an 8 momentum, you can. Which 8 on momentum would replace your action die score with what your momentum is.
So if I use my momentum, would it help?
It would be a light hit.
I will take that better than whatever in the hell my dice decide to come up with. I'm going to
Okay.
sacrifice my momentum.
Okay, then you were at 4 spirits still. And I think next was Roar's turn.
Forgot I was muted. So I got a light hit. I'm debating whether I should make that a strong hit. No, I'll save my momentum and I'll just do that as a light hit. So that's a 5 on the action and a 1 and a 6 on the challenge.
Just a second. I'll be right back.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Quick, the GM is gone. Make
Everyone hide.
Make plans.
Plans. I really
Be good to me.
Okay,
I
so
didn't mean what
this
I
is a
said.
thing. This is a thing that I realized also
Mm-hmm.
because I know Sin said this, but I am pretty sure my character sheet is up to date, and I have 1 on my momentum, which means I must have used something at the end of last game.
Yeah.
I will ask this. I'm sorry, I forgot about it for Abhilasha. But I have loyalist, which means that means that I can aid an ally and add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit, whether that's a weak or a strong hit, it doesn't matter.
So, if anyone heard that loud bang, that was cats.
Okay.
I figured
I
because
did
that's
not.
usually what it is.
Yeah. Anyway. So, you were debating whether to use your momentum. You said no. And then the bang happened, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
And
so I'm
Keldra,
not going
you
to
were
use this.
saying something. Okay.
I did want to mention, Sin, how does loyalist work if Fen is the mountain again?
That's a good question.
I can read it to you if that helps.
Yes, please do.
Gonna check because I'm pretty sure I have more than just the base.
You're a really loyal rock.
I'm very. I love
Oh.
you, Danny.
Aid your ally.
Yeah, so because this fit with Fenn's backstory, which is the reason I took this, so this is funny that it's coming full circle. But I have the first two, which means when you aid your ally, you add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit. This is in addition to the benefits taken by your ally. When an ally makes an endure stress move in your company, they add a +1 and you take +1 momentum on a hit.
Okay. So at this point, we haven't done any moves that would activate Loyalist.
Okay. I will try to remember which ones are aid and ally-able.
I'll make note of it.
Okay.
If it likely will come up.
Good to know.
Back to the group roll though. Afra, Danny.
Sid, remember when you gave me a random +2 on my last roll? That happened like a second ago. Can I have that again?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Oh, I have a +2?
Yeah.
Oh! Then I win. Then I win. Then I get that's a hard hit. Then.
Why did I just ask?
Okay. So, while this is happening, I'm going to describe something, but in the back of your mind, you hear, "You can't get away from me that easy."
Yeah, that makes sense, don't it? Okay. Okay. Cool. I'll react to that after we're doing rolls.
And moving to Furion. What is your result?
It didn't really matter which one I chose because Iron and Edge are both my worst stats at a +1 each. But saying that, I got a 4 and a 2 on my challenge die, and I happen to get a 4 + 1 on my action die, which means 5, which means a strong hit.
Nice. Okay. So, with that, you see the snow start to fall heavily. And someone comes around in the town, ringing a bell. Keldry, what was the name of the rock?
Life the Rock. That was the name of I forget who named it, but I remember that was the rock's name.
Okay. You all recognize the large stone man, Life, who walks through the town ringing a bell when it's about time to have a meeting. Life is very quiet. But Life is a large stone man.
I love how that is a good metaphor for living here.
Okay. So, do all of you go? Well, first, let's roll back. And Afra, what is your response to that threatening voice?
Afra, who is in the middle of attempting to set up a tarp over Roar's garden to try and protect it from the snow. Hears that and goes, I felt like I was doing a pretty good job recently. What's happening?
There's silence.
No, I'm brave. I'm brave. I've always been brave. This is not... Nothing scares me anymore. That's how it is here. And I'm gonna go run to find Roy.
Fair. Which of you are going to go to the village meeting along that life has summoned you to?
Roar will definitely go.
Yeah, Firion probably will, yeah.
Suneri will go but be kind of slinking in the background.
I don't
Okay.
know that it makes sense for Fen to go, like narratively.
That tracks. That tracks very hard.
Aside from that, they are very antisocial when it comes to both humans and spirits.
So I guess the question would be, are you paying attention? Because you could.
I think Fen is paying that, or they're trying to figure out what's going on with the snow themselves.
Okay.
Okay, where are the winter sprites? Where did they go? Get back here.
That's a good thing to note. There are none. This is a wholly unnatural snow. And that, probably pretty unsettling. Up to you to decide.
Yeah, no, that's unsettling. I don't know that Fen would pay attention to what was going on in the village specifically, but they are paying attention to what is going on around the mountain specifically. So they may catch something.
Okay.
From the meeting, but if they do, it's not on purpose.
So, as you go in to the meeting, you see everyone they expect to see from the village, all of your neighbors, and the village elder, which is a giant man that is swinging a hammer at an anvil. He stops swinging the hammer to address the assorted people there to say, nothing is wrong. Everything is fine. Carry on.
What are you talking about? This is obviously this is a late winter storm. This is very bad. This could be terrible for the crops.
The cows are losing their places to graze. It's too early.
We will endure.
But what are we enduring?
You will endure.
Is it too much to ask for actual answers for once? Or is just more suffering up ahead for everyone.
As you ask that question, the elder, this old figure that you've known for your entire life, never met another giant, slowly crumbles to dust. And people start running. What are you going to do?
Roar's first instinct is to reach out and pull Afra behind him with one hand as he pauses to see if anything else happens.
Nothing, just the village elder disintegrating and
Yeah,
everyone running.
No, casual Tuesday, casual Tuesday, casual Tuesday.
Normal day.
Wait. Afra
Is
takes out.
life there? Quick question.
Life is not around for this specifically.
Okay. That's fine.
That's good.
But would be outside the meeting hall.
Afra takes as they're pulled back, takes out a slingshot from their pocket and holds it at the ready as they stand behind Roar and ask, okay, I am not panicking because we never panic, but what is happening?
It's a good question. Let's find out. He's going to slowly start moving forward to start. You kind of peek around the anvil, see what we can see.
Pick on the other side.
There is nothing remaining. In fact, the only thing that you see is a pile of snow.
So I want to do a little. I don't know if this will technically count as retconning a little bit, but I want to say that Suneri hadn't realized or hadn't registered it fully yet, but she had already started to carry her old sword, her axe with her, her weapon with her when she came into the meeting. And it is specifically because the first time the snow fell, she could feel, not hear specifically, but feel the imprints of long echoes of voices that she had suppressed or forgotten or deliberately ignored for so long, just to be able and chosen isolation for that matter. So when he it crumbled, Suneri like kind of startles and then actually realizes the weight on her waist and is like, and she looks down and is like, one more time, Aro, my old friend. And I take out my axe and I am flanking with Roar, and we are now. I'm making sure I have Afra in my eyesight to whenever if anything comes to attack her, and I'm also now investigating the crumble snow essentially.
What's Firion doing at this moment?
I think originally Firion was a little wary of the whole snow, but then like things sort of really started to get a little bit stranger for him when he heard what the village chief was like, oh, we'll endure, everything will be fine. I'm like, that's definitely not what you say in a time like this. So this is all sorts of strange. He was about to actually like pull up his runestones and like actually do a divination before the village elder, melted, for lack of a better word. And almost on reflex, he immediately reaches behind his back, and he already has his bow sort of strung, looking around for like, and he's not like with the rest of the group, sort of. He's almost a little bit further back on like almost as if he's instinctively searching for like high ground or a vantage point.
Okay. And I will ask, even though there is no physicality to Finn at this point, is there a response from Finn about seeing all of the people like flee? And they are running. They're not stopping at like the edge of the village. They are not regrouping. They are just running.
That's weird. I think if Fen still has a connection to life, the rock, this is very funny. Then they'd ask for clarification. It's more a feeling of what happened.
Now, to clarify, none of you have ever heard Life, the Stone Man, speak. But in this moment, you hear the briefest of words. Swede.
Of all the voices, that was not the one I was expecting.
To be fair,
Straight up
I think this is
bro.
the same voice I used.
No, it was. I did actually towards the end of the last episode. That was Life's accent.
Straight up surfer bro.
I know, because I didn't want to make a character with this voice, but I thought it was a one-off, and so I used the voice that I use of the pawn from Warcraft. It's the human peon. I can't remember the name of the unit.
I can't. I love how you gave me a talking rock and thought that it was gonna be a one-off.
Yeah.
That was your first mistake.
So don't ask me how I clawed that back to remember.
Then is yeah, they're leaving the mountain in. This is closer to the form. Ironically, this is closer to the form that they fought the Red Queen in. They are more. They have a humanoid shape. They are more made out of stone and moss and branches and twigs and iron veins. Because I remembered. When I listened back, I specifically said Fenn's name was the Iron Mountain prior to being named Fenn.
So, you have a physical form. And as you come closer, I'm going to have everyone, because of the strangeness of the situation, make a wits roll.
Hey.
Me included?
Yep, you included.
Okay.
It's fun.
Now, here's something. I will let you, Finn, rather than making a roll for yourself, I will let you add 1 to everyone's action die if you so choose, instead of making your roll.
Yes, even if there is a drawback, then yes.
The drawback is you don't get to make a roll.
Okay, that's fair.
Then, okay, everyone add 1 on top of your normal roll.
God bless.
It's good to have the mountain on your side.
That's my spirit.
Oh, that's right. Does Afra still know those stories? 'Cause
Stories.
Ben's heading towards the village.
What stories?
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Why do you hate me? That's so sad that you have so much hate in your heart. Dang, it's been 5 months. I gotta catch up in attacking sim. I do.
Okay. Firion, how did you do?
I realized I muted. I got a 6 and a 4 on my challenge die, and I got a 5 plus 2 plus the 1 from Fen is 8 on my action die.
Okay. So, full success there. How about Suneri?
I got a 6. I got a 7 on the D6 and a 6 and a 5 on the challenge.
Nice.
It's the best I'm going to do this entire game, I feel.
Don't say that.
That's a mood.
Hi.
How did Afra do?
I got a strong hit. I got a 6 total on the action and a 5 and a 2 on the challenge.
Okay.
Oh, that one did come in handy.
It did. It did, in fact. It did.
You got at least 2 successes more? Either way.
I can't count.
How about Roar?
I got a 2 and a 1 on the action on the challenge die, and a 7 total on the action. So
Okay.
I'm getting all of Danny's rolls.
So,
I approve of this.
you feel a rumbling from within the earth. The building shakes down around you. You do see Finn, but Finn isn't a creature that you are afraid of. You feel familiarity. What would you all like to do?
So I feel like, as Roar is coming up to examine this melted snowman, and then life speaks, and there's that moment where he looks over like, you could talk? What? And then, the building starts to shake apart and everything, and he's basically going to bolt out of the building, grabbing hold of anyone within arm's reach to pull with him so that this building doesn't collapse on top of them.
Okay.
I like to imagine as Afra is pulled, that she will in fact help pull whoever is left behind who Roar cannot grab. Which was probably furious. So.
I'm taking Firion. I literally will just like bum rush Firion so I can put him on my shoulders and then run behind Roar. I'm carrying him fireman style somehow. Dealing with cows has made me real buff.
That it does.
It does.
Yeah, that's true.
That is the thing that happens, yes.
Have you accepted this Firion?
Yeah, Furion has. He knows better than to stop scenario when like she's like charging. So he knows better. So like he's just like,
Fair.
oh, okay, this is happening now, and just like runs with it. I'm like,
So question, how does Finn actually come out into this building? Because am I literally just walking in through the back wall like the Kool-Aid Man?
Well, the building has fallen.
Oh, okay.
So you're just in the village, seen from afar. In fact, you can see all of the buildings within the village are crumbling. And I think at this point, I will say, Firion, after people have kind of sequestered themselves away from the site of that rumbling, you get that kind of tunnel vision that happens when you feel danger, and you see a familiar face. And she is going to say, "You could come back." Now, I will ask 2 questions.
okay.
The first question is, does Firion want to go back?
He'd be lying if he said no. Like at least there wasn't a small part of him that said no. Like if there was a small part of him like there definitely is a small part of him that wants to go back. So he would be lying if he said no. I'm all good. I don't want to go back. Yeah, there's definitely is a part of him that feels like he wants to.
So, does he resist that urge?
As much as it breaks his heart to do so, he does. Mainly because he's already been set on this path from their encounter with the Yellow Royal. And yeah, there's really no going back at this point now, at least in his mind.
Okay. So, what I'm going to have you do then is I'm going to have you roll just the challenge dice.
Oh.
I am comparing this against the results that all of you have gotten throughout this entire situation.
Okay.
And we'll see if you succeed.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Big money, big money, big
Find out.
money, big money.
Low money in this case is what you want.
No money in this case. Okay.
Low money, no money, no money, broke,
No
broke,
money,
broke.
Oh, it's crazy. Okay. That got a 4 and a 9.
Okay. With that, you resist. And you come to a realization. This isn't the first time. This isn't the 10th time. This isn't the 20th or the 30th time. You have been put in these scenarios of peace and tranquility over and over again. But always, something is wrong.
Yes, cat.
And a skeletal king appears in front of you wearing blue robes, and he says, "Now, why Won't you just give up? And that is where we're going to take our break.
Sin, you're evil. I swear to God.
I knew the minute we started in the weird, creepy, peaceful village, I knew there was going to be
I
something.
knew. No, yeah, I knew it was
I mean,
coming.
well,
I
we
knew
will.
it
I knew
wasn't.
there was something up.
We will
Some
be
loop
back
holes,
to
yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why I was like, even in
All right.
peacetime, Suneri is going to be hacking something.
Bye, BRB in
Let's-
like 10.
Yes, we'll be back in like 10.
There we go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome on back. As we left off, you all were coming back to a point where you had been many times before. If you just give up, you can have the happiness you seek. What's so wrong with that?
Giving up is not exactly our thing, you could say. I'm just wondering how long it's going to take for you to give up this pointless charade. Surely you have to have some other tricks up your sleeve.
I merely need to focus in, maybe find a weak point among you. At this point, Afra, you hear behind you. I don't think he could be talking about you, do you?
Oh no.
Afra, under their breath, whispers, Charisma, I'm a very strong point.
Fun. I love the new confidence you have here. Do you think maybe I could, do a team up with Skull Daddy?
With Skull Daddy, I hate it.
I wouldn't recommend it because then you would be on the eventually losing side.
Yeah. You think so? Because it doesn't look like you're doing a lot.
See, Afra fully turns to nothing. And their voice raises a little bit. I am doing everything. I'm doing my best.
And you hear from behind you, as if now the Blue King is much, much closer. Can I help you?
That's stupid. Afro fully turns around and just swings. It just an irrational reaction. Just it goes to swing behind her.
Go ahead. Make an edge roll.
Oh no.
Hold on, watch me right now.
Okay.
Oh!
Can I argue for a +1 if I describe something silly or neat?
If it helps, I did pass, but also I like to hear you describe silly things.
Yes, go for it. Go for the description.
Go for the description. So Fen just essentially woke up. They don't know what's exactly is going on. Their reaction time varies greatly to humans. At least it used to. So this is essentially like having time speed up from normal human time to like, I don't know, when you're running something at like 10 times speed. And so Fenn's first reaction when everything seems to snap back is a massive WTF, mate. And I feel like that probably fucks up the landscape that they're in right now.
Okay. So to describe, because I don't think I described fully, you are in a frozen tundra. And it is, for the most part, difficult to move quickly. But I will say that you could change the landscape briefly to where the air like becomes not so frigid and is easier to move through. And I think that could give that +1 that you're talking about. For the reasons that you discussed.
Alternatively, is there still snow?
Yes, there is still snow.
How do people feel about a landslide or snow slide?
That's fun.
Okay.
But like a small one, like very centered on
I
him.
can't guarantee that, actually. I don't think. I feel like I can't.
I sort of want to just make sure, like, we got the story straight.
Yeah.
So we prepare to run. So I think we should prepare to run.
Fen can't warn anyone right now.
Yeah.
I don't think that they have the wherewithal to do that.
Fair enough.
Hey, you want to roll the decider to see how bad this is?
Oh, no, decider.
Why would you?
Oh, no.
No, you're right. No,
That?
you have to finale. It's
No.
Just
finale. It's the finale.
No, let the decider.
it was already in my hand.
That's crazy.
I had a feeling.
Okay.
The malevolence in Sin's DM mind was already one step ahead, and I'm so bad about it.
So, I'll just ask you a question. High or low?
Oh shit, I remember what happened last time I did this. Low.
Okay. Incoming.
Jesus Christ.
God gets me every time.
What was that
Every
again?
time.
I said low.
Okay.
That's
So,
not a good okay. That's a bad
So-
okay.
Yeah, that's so good at all.
So, you have a relatively controlled snow slide. It catches the Blue King up in it, as well as you all. But it catches the Blue King first. And Afra, what were you swinging?
My fist.
Okay.
I
Go
love-
ahead
I love
and
it.
make that edge roll at a +2
Okay. On top of my edge.
on top of your edge.
Okay. 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 It's a 2 and a 5 on the challenge and an 8 on my action in total.
Okay. It hits the Blue King first. And you realize in all of these scenarios, you had never gotten close to the Blue King. He falls and collides into Afra. And your fist shatters his skull.
Oh, shit.
He's not gonna be happy about that.
No.
The rest of the
Hell yeah.
bones turn to powder, and you slide in an impossible way toward the center of the valley. You, in fact, come close to the Forge Master's forge. And you have slain, through one method or another, all three of the keepers.
You just had to punch the
That was
shit out of
insane.
him.
That was amazing. Oh my god.
The answer to everything is hands! I told you!
Like, sure, we can't just win that easily, right? I was half expecting Sin to pull out a phase 2 or some shit like that.
I know, I really was as well. I was like, I was like, oh, I've flubbed it. It's what I just did.
I think once I get over the shock, I'm probably going to just kind of burst into tears and hug Afra and just straight up start like like doing the thing of you carry the victor on your shoulder.
Oh.
I think once the shock was
I think Afra is like the second like Afra's fist like made contact with the skull, there was this pause and like genuine like at first it was like this anger and satisfaction and this I don't care what happens next anymore. I've proven myself to me, and maybe that's all that needs to matter for right now. And then suddenly once they're like at the Forge Master, their mind goes through what happened in the past like couple minutes because they did not process anything after their fists made contact with this guy's skull. And it's like an almost like a slideshow of, oh, there was snow, oh, he was snow, oh no, he was dust, he became dust after I punched him, and he's dust, and now he's dust, there's dust, where are we? And then so it's like it's just Afra like looking at their two hands, their two tiny hands, like eyes wide, like there's like a layer of all the confidence and like energy that they had in that one punch has dropped into like confusion and fear, because if there's one thing Afra never thought they could do, it's punch something and it go well for them. So they're in that state of shock as Sunheri like pulls her onto like her shoulders, and you just hear like a huh, 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 and then just constantly over and over, just repeated like sort of not desperation but sort of partial panic in this like mumbling.
I guess you're not as weak as you look.
You will be next.
what?
Bring it.
You see Afra looks down. Nothing. No.
I mean, do you want to come down? Like,
For like a second, because this is very nice. This is actually a very good thing that you're doing. I really like this, but I think I have to deal with something first. But then after, I would like to do this again because this is actually feels really cool. It's actually really nice.
she brings as she's bringing her down, she kind of hugs her Afra like really tightly.
I'm really
so relieved, like, and in shock of what the fuck just happened. Did this tiny person that Suneri is like, I will do whatever it takes because I think this child is fragile. I am so scared of her for her life the entire time. And suddenly she just one punched KO'd an entire keeper. Wow. Yeah. And then she's gonna let go, like, okay, are you okay? Do you need any help?
And then Effort turns to Roar. Real quick, Sin, do we remember now our life before the
yeah.
valley? Okay. Turn to Roar. When you met me because people said there was a monster and I was the monster, that wasn't entirely a lie. It was because I had eaten someone. Because they attacked me. And so they thought I was a creature. Because they only saw me with blood and meat and what was the remains of a person that apparently was very important, that I did not know was very important because I did not know people, because I was in the woods and I was lost and I was hungry and they attacked me. And that's why that's what happened. And now that person, I think I hear them sometimes and I have to deal with them, but I don't know how. And I'm sorry. And if you want to now get rid of me because I am sort of actually a creature, sort of, then that's okay. But also, it might be better if we get out of here first before you make that decision. Or I will respect whatever you say because I respect you a lot as a person, and you have guided me a lot in my life, and I am strong because of you. And that I'm now I'm done.
Before there's a response, you hear in the background, well, that was underwhelming. And the spirit fades.
You're all right.
Am I right?
I do not care what you did before or how you got where you were. None of that matters. It's only what I have seen from you and what you have done and how you have grown. Maybe you are not so little, squirrel.
You see, Afra looks at you, these big eyes, and then she bursts into tears and she runs and hugs you.
Yes. I am. I expected him to be much tougher. I don't know about you. It was a good hit, though. You learned well.
You taught me very well.
I do all right.
I didn't think I would get this far. Now what?
I think before there's an answer to that question, I need you all to make what will be the final roll that you will make.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Your epilogue roll.
Oh no!
This is you're trying to roll under whatever you have for.
Yes, your connection to the valley. We'd discussed a couple of different roles where you had built connections and you had the ability to roll to increase that number. Now, I know it has been a long while. Who is missing their info?
I technically have it, but I don't think it's up to date because my epilogue score is showing 2.
Okay.
I mean, mine shows 4, so I don't know how far off that is.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I will let you all make one final heart roll. And for each success that you get on this final heart roll, I will roll a die to add to what you have. So, if you have nothing, then just get the die that's added. If you have complete records, then, you're fine. Just roll as you would. This is an effort to make up for the fact that, it's been forever.
So just to be sure, I'm rolling a heart. Okay. Oh my god, a good roll. What a time.
Of all the times for that to happen, that's fun.
Right? Right?
No, but like you don't even understand when I tell my roll.
So, Rise, did you have your records?
As far as I know, it shows 3. It shows 3 on my epilogue. As far as I know, that should be up to date. I don't think.
Mine shows 4, so I feel like that's close.
Oh,
Yeah, 2 on mine.
we are missing a roll then, because we should be
Okay.
closer than that. Let me go ahead. I'm actually going to roll one die, and I'm going to add this to everybody's. Okay. Everyone add 2 to the amount that you have.
Okay.
Nice.
And I will roll one more time for Danny and Abhilasha.
Okay.
Okay. So that would be a total of 5. If you have less than 5, bring yourself up to 5.
Funky.
Okay. So you are making a roll of 2d10s, and you are comparing it to the result that you have. You wouldn't be able to use momentum on this. This is telling how your character's story goes from here. I think I will give you all one additional heart roll to see if you can bolster it anymore.
Just to check, what did the heart roll from before do?
Just keep that roll for this roll now.
Heard, Jeff.
Okay.
So if it's a miss, you don't add anything. If it's a light hit, you add 1. If it's a strong hit, you add 2.
Can I know this is not a game mechanic. Can I forego my heart roll to use Loyalist one last time to give somebody else a +1?
Sure.
I will forego my heart roll then and keep my score as is.
Okay.
Do you want
you
me
can
to
actually
pick, do you want me to pick that now, or
no,
do you?
I'll give everyone a +1 from that for that kind of sacrifice.
Okay.
So that gives me a 5.
So go ahead and roll your heart. Yeah, go ahead.
Gives me a 5 on the action and 2 3s on the challenge dice.
Okay. So 2 3s is a critical success. I'm going to go ahead and say that you're going to max out. You have 10.
Oh, shit.
So, good choices for Roar.
And do you want me to roll, or do you want, since I forego the roll, everybody else gets +1?
Everybody else gets +1.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
How about Danny?
Just to be sure, because I'm lost a little bit. The heart roll I made just now.
Yes.
What was that? Am I getting the result for that? +1?
You are, for the heart roll now, you're just adding 1 to your regular heart roll to see if you get more.
Okay. Then I got a hard success.
Okay. So you would add 2 to your thing, so you had 7 total.
7. Okay, cool. Tight.
Abhilasha?
Okay, so are we discussing the previous heart roll I made, or this is the current one I made?
You can just discuss the one you currently made.
Okay, so I got a I got a 3 in total on D6 and a 1 and a 3 on the challenge die.
Okay. So you'll be up to 6 for your epilogue roll. And Abhishek?
So for my current heart roll, I got double 7s on my challenge die. And
Okay.
I rolled a 6 + 3 on my action die.
So you are also capping out, with the caveat that if you return to the land of the living, time has passed.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, everyone go ahead and make your epilogue rolls. You're going to compare. Your action die is the number that you have on your epilogue roll. So if I said 7, it's 7. If you have 10, you have 10. The only way you can fail is if you roll a 10 on the challenge die. Go ahead and make your rolls of your 2d10s, and then we'll go over the results.
Good looking.
Oh, fuck.
Don't say that after I say good luck, gang.
Good luck, gang. Oh,
No
fuck.
way. There is no way.
You'll find out.
Okay. Wait, hey, gang. No one's had a good expression so far.
I'm not gonna tell you whether this is good or bad. It's just an expression.
Okay, heard Jeff. Okay, no count. All right.
Big
cool.
shame. Big shame.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. No.
Rise, let's go ahead and start with you. Where are you at?
I got double 7s.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I think I unintentionally cursed everyone else's dice
that
also.
good?
I'm so sorry.
Well, to be fair, Rise also I think got capped. He got capped also, didn't he?
Yeah. So
Yeah, Rise's got 10, so that's still over.
good?
That's still
Okay.
under.
It's a good result. It's also a critical. and
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Danny, where are you at?
I got a 7 and a 2.
And you were at 7?
I was.
Okay. Abhilasha?
I got a 5 and a 4, and I was at 6.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
How about for Firion?
Well, I was at a 10 for my epilogue counter. I rolled a double 3.
Okay.
What's happening with you?
Jesus Christ. Okay.
That's why I was like, there's absolutely no way how that happened.
And for Finn?
So you remember what you were saying about criticals?
Yes.
So I was at a 6 because I didn't because I took what I had and then you're 2. Like so that's what I have, right? So I
Yeah.
rolled 2 6s.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
god.
that's not good. I was expecting the decider for a second, good god.
Me too.
I also was too, yeah.
I was scared.
Fun fact.
Stop.
I was just going to roll a couple of dice to see if I got matching numbers. I rolled 6s, not 10s, but I got double ones.
Uh,
So here's where you're at. You all, as a result of this, have complete control of your destiny. However, you have to choose who might be staying. You have 2 potential guardians in people that you've seen in the valley. The Forge Master could become a guardian, a keeper. And the Fisher could become a keeper. But there must always be 3.
I'm staying.
Now,
I failed. I technically failed that roll. I know what it.
that's fair. Now, because you have control of your own fate, you don't have to be staying alone. Others could stay and become keepers and live in this place of unlife. Would anyone like to join Finn?
Roar is staying.
Same. Sunari has nothing to go back to.
Oh come on, guys, it's okay.
So, I think with that, the choice has been made.
I think so.
The 3 of you stay behind. And we'll discuss what that looks like here in a moment. But Furion and Afra, you go back the same time. Because no more can stay.
Oh my god.
You are back in that frozen field where Afra was pulled in as Roar passed. You did not notice this before, but this frozen field contains the remnants of Furion's village. In fact, you all passed in the same space as you see a dormant mountain that has no life left upon it. What do you 2 do, having experienced this place between life and death? Afra?
Why just me first?
We don't get to say goodbye.
I was going on the you make the decision, you get pulled.
Then
That air was cold-hearted, cold-blooded.
Can't be cold-hearted if you don't have a heart.
I'll get you. So Afra, just before I continue, am I with Furion?
You came back to the same place where you both died, so yes.
Okay. The aftermath for Afra is shockingly not as despair-filled as one would imagine, as she's taken from being by Roar's side, because the final things he said to her are going to follow her in the best way possible for the rest of whatever life she has, where she feels and she's confident that she has grown, and she started this journey and entered the valley because she thought she was nothing without Roar and didn't want him to leave. And even if there are nights where she feels lonely and she mourns very deeply, and there are many nights where she tries everything she can to go back for even just a couple minutes, she takes up essentially what Roar was doing and hunts and learns and grows and takes every lesson he gave her with her. And she also makes sure, if Firion allows, to dedicate a lot of her life to sticking by his side and helping him adjust, because Firion helped in giving Afra one of the things that she had never had, and the group gave Afra one of the things she never had, and that was companionship. And so she is dedicated to ensuring that even in a world that is not his own anymore, that Furion still feels like he has some semblance of friendship and something to care about. And yeah, this hurts. I'm gonna hurt you. It's 11 o'clock and this hurts.
How about Furion? What do Furion's days look like?
I think Furion, first and foremost, upon returning from the valley, he's first shocked at the fact that, oh my god, I'm back. I'm not in the valley anymore. I feel like normal again. But as he sort of looks around and see how everything has changed, the snow field that he finds himself on, and finally settling on the remains of his village, it does quickly hit him that, oh yeah, time has passed. And it does hit him hard. There is something that he does want to confirm. So he would definitely start making his way to his village, and he does allow Afra to stay by his side. It is at least nice. It would at least be a good thing for him to have someone he knows from that whole ordeal with him, helping him adjust, and he does appreciate it. But as he does make his way to his village, at least what remains of it, he looks for a specific house, a specific person, or any sign of them.
It is not far, because it was the edge of the village where you were, there are not even stones remaining.
He sort of takes in a look around, sees how demolished this village has become, how barren, empty it is. He stops at the remnants of an old house. His house. His and hers. He goes inside, and he knew what this would probably mean the moment he was told that, yes, time would pass. You won't be, there's a high likelihood you won't see them again, or see her again. But he still just collapses and just starts crying. Eventually, he just sort of pull himself out of his funk a little bit and gathers some nearby stones and does sort of go outside, make a small grave, I guess, and pulls out a piece of paper. If Afra would have noticed, she would, like, at least during the time in the village, she probably would have noticed Furion wandering off at some points during the night by himself. And she would have noticed that he had this paper in hand. He opens it. It's like folded up, so it would have fit within like one of his bow, like in the bow strap. And you can see that there are words on it. And he starts reciting them. It is a lovely poem that he wrote, which I actually did write, by the way. So, and he goes into this soulful rendition of this poem. A revelation most dire laid bare my truest fears. What once I thought months turned out to be years. These must be lies. This can't be true. I plead and pray to the ones. Please let you be safe and well, my moon and my stars. I yearn for your touch. I long for your whispers. Yet this distance between us is as grand as the Starlight River. If you truly are gone, my heart bears the greatest pain. But I know, my love. I truly know. Be it in this life or another. I know we shall meet again. I love you, Vega. From your beloved, Altair. And he rests the poem on next to the gravestone that he made for her, which now has the simple word on it, a name. Vega. His beloved, his bride, his soon-to-be wife, or was at some point. He'd dedicate the rest of his days to adjusting. Partially, he part of him would want to rebuild the village, at least give her a home, and not a sort of monument. He wanted her to be able to rest home and safe, and he'd be there by her side until the day they met again, in some way or another.
It is many years later. 20, 30 years after you start this process, when you see an older woman walk into the village that's now sprung around, and she looks gray. She looks regal. And she looks like what Vega would have looked like had she lived to be this age. She doesn't say anything. She has no words. But she comes up and just holds out her hand.
He sighs. 20, 30 long years of being here. He knew this day would come at some point. He's ready. He does look back at Afra one last time, seeing how she's doing.
Afra is tired, and somehow in all these years she keeps the same bubbly, chaotic energy that you would have known her for. So I think as you look, she's probably carrying some piece of wood, but it's taken a moment to take a breath. And she just sort of looks over. And she just...
He would go over and give her a hug, first and foremost.
She'd hug him back.
Live your life well. Do what makes you happy. That is all I ask.
Forever and always. Thank you for being my friend.
Thank you as well. He sort of gives her like a squeeze one last time before breaking the hug and walking over to the woman and finally taking her hand in his.
From there, we'll move over. And I'll start with Suneri. What does the time in the valley look like for Suneri? How does she keep the valley?
After sort of a brief panic, she has a bit of a brief panic and hopelessness of, okay, I've made this decision, but what do I do now? She first she wanders the valley as much as she can. She spends what in on she just spends a bit of time initially just wandering the valley, using all the techniques that Fen taught her to focus her mind, to be able to not just hear the cacophony, but this time listen to the people. And she familiarizes herself, she strengthens that mental connection to the voices in the valley. And then she returns to the space where she made that decision, and all her friends and Firian and Afra got another chance at life again. And she makes a homestead. And she opens it up to anyone who's looking for a second chance. Life is long, and it may be eternal, it may not be. But it doesn't have to be harsh, it doesn't have to be terrifying. It can just be a place of rest, it can be a place of recollection, it can be a place for friends to reunite once again. And every night since she made that decision, that the homestead has been open to as many people who are looking for a second chance, looking for a new purpose. And there are always 4 chairs that are always left vacant. For maybe sometimes it may be filled when Roar might come over, but she's still waiting for other friends of hers to. Those chairs are always open to her friends.
Speaking of Roar, how does Roar keep the valley?
In part, Roar's life from here on out kind of resembles what it did in the visions they were trapped in. He builds himself a small cabin out in the woods. Very simple, quiet place near a stream. Makes himself a little garden, plants his little herbs and vegetables and things like that. It's a very simple, remote kind of place where he can go to be alone. But all in all, he doesn't spend that much time there. It's more of a retreat than anything. The rest of his time, he's wandering, moving through the valley, finding those that have gotten lost, those who don't know where to turn, where to go, and guiding them to these places, to Suneri's homestead, to a village at the base of a mountain. Sometimes maybe to some place where they can start their own little place. And that's what he becomes known for, is finding the lost and guiding them, teaching them how to survive and flourish in this world that may be so different from anything they have known before. And sometimes that involves fending off whatever eldritch critter might raise its head. He always has stories for those nights on the trails when he and the stragglers that he's picked up are gathered around a campfire. Stories of great monsters and brave heroes and mountains that could talk, and warriors and poets and squirrels with hearts of lions.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells these stories often and with great relish. And that's kind of how he spends his days. Occasionally he has to kind of distance himself and goes back to his little cabin, sits on the porch with his pipe, and enjoys the sunset under the leaves and the birdsong. And one day, however long, time doesn't flow quite the same between worlds. But sometime, Afra will find a unusual wrapped package. It's in her bag and her room, whatever. It's not large, but just wrapped in a piece of simple hide and tied with a string. And unwrapping it is a simple obsidian dagger with worn leather wrapped around where a hilt would be to hold on to. It's chipped and it's old, but it's still sharp and it's still strong. And it fits her hand really well now.
She cherishes it forever.
And Keldry, how does Finn keep?
Actually, I think this has more to do with the immediate reaction that happens when Firion and Afra disappear, because Fen would just stare and be like, "What do you mean we don't get to say goodbye?" With Sunari and Roar right there, like, they just... I I I just woke up. What is...
We will see them again. The call, I don't know who made the valley. I don't know who made you, but I know for sure I will see them again, and we will, when we see them, we will be the group that we always were. It's just time.
The wheel turns. Life moves on. But things have a tendency to come back, to fall back into their rightful places. And when the day comes and Arian and Afra are indeed ready for what comes next, then we will be waiting for them. And we will greet them like family.
I thought I was used to how fast things went.
Can I? Is a Fen in her like in a spirit form, or like is this a corporeal form,
I think
not
Fen
mountain
is
form?
back to looking exactly how they were when you first met them in the valley.
Okay. I go up to Finn and I sort of touch my forehead to to Faze and just be like, I would not abandon any of my friends, and I am very grateful that all three of us are here. I think that whatever happens from here on out, we can figure out a new existence for ourselves. And maybe the reason we didn't get to say goodbye is because this is not a goodbye. It's just see you later, I guess. And I have you guys. I have you guys. You guys are here. It's the three of us. We protect them. That's what it always was meant to be. We are always the protectors, and for the first time I realized what it means. For the first time I got to make a decision that is in just service of people who care and I care about.
I think this place is still missing something. Is the blacksmith still there? The forge master? We slid down the side
Yeah.
of the... Okay.
The forge is empty.
Finn is going to take... Life is a rock again, right? Like, just little rock. And hand that to Tsuneri and be like, I think he might want to go back to the settlement and you two could probably help people there. And is going to go over to the forge and, for the very last time, invoke whatever life they have left in themselves. And reach into their chest and pull out a hunk of iron and put it on the forge and just pick up the hammer and start swinging.
Are you comfortable with ending the scene there?
Yes, I am, if you want.
I will ask a question. What is the goal of what Finn wants to craft?
Well, Fen had told, I think to Tsuneri, but to the others, that when they felt that strike of the hammer against the anvil, that was what kept their hearts beating. Fen is going to they're going to craft tools. They're going to craft whatever people need, whether that is a nail or a sword. And they will give it to whoever comes through that house and that forge. And they will try to keep the life, what little life there is in the valley, going for as long as possible.
Okay. And with that, we go back one last time to Afra. Firion has walked away, hand in hand with Vega. And you know you didn't feel this before, but you feel something in your left pocket.
Afra, who is freely letting tears fall from her face, but is still smiling, raises an eyebrow a bit and reaches into her pocket.
It's a set of bones cast from stone.
See, Afra takes the bones very slowly, and looks at them, and for the last time, she will kneel down and ask a very simple question to the bones. Will I see them again?
You don't even have to roll to know the answer. But you do. And the answer is yes. And that is where we will conclude Ironsworn, the Valley.
Oh my god.
Thank you all for joining me. It has been an absolute pleasure. We are going to go around and have everybody say who they are, what they're going to be doing. We're going to give Danny some time because that's going to be less. I was trying to be nice.
I think I'm we're partially to blame.
Yeah,
I
I need a minute. I'm sorry. I think you just gave my bones to somebody else.
That's true.
We're
Well,
having a
then.
no bones day.
Would anyone like to volunteer to start outros?
Sure, why not?
Okay, Rise.
I'm Rise. Sean, whatever. You might hear in the background the meowing. That's Ash. She likes to intrude and make her opinion known. Hush! She's staring at the wall. I don't know what is wrong with this cat.
She had words to say to that wall, okay?
Place
That
Have a
wall,
broken cat.
house is haunted. House is haunted.
the wall talking shit.
You know, if they don't bother me, they let me sleep. I'm good with it, as long as they ain't running the electric bill up or nothing like that. So, yeah. So I'm Rise. I have been playing Rolar the Hunter throughout this journey, which has been incredible. I know it's not like a super lot of episodes compared to some shows, but each one was they were very impactful. I feel like this is not a shallow story that's been told here, and I am quite honored to be able to tell it with all of you guys. Prior to this, the only person I had ever played with was Sin, because I have lost track of how many things Sin and I have done together at this point, but you know, it's been a lot. So getting to know everybody as well and over the course of this has been fantastic, and you guys are great, and hopefully we can do something else again in the future. As far as what I'm doing, I'm not doing a whole lot lately. Second Sunday of every month, I am over on Singularity RPG, doing our City of Mist game, Paintown, which is fantastic, and is turning in quickly into the apocalypse, it feels like, because that's what happens, where I'm playing a stuck up, rich nepo baby rift of King Midas in that particular game, and I'm not a very nice person. Other than that, I've got a couple of one shots that have been rescheduled that should be showing up again at some point. That hopefully we can do again. I think those are both over on Tales from the Table Studios, which is another great channel if you're not familiar with it. They just wrapped up a month-long charity drive for actually it was because when we started it, the big thing was the California fires down around LA and all that stuff. So we did a month-long charity drive for folks impacted by that. It was just wrapped up, raised a chunk of money. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but so that's great. Other than that, you can find me on Blue Sky if you want. Kind of useless because I don't really ever say anything. I'm very boring on social media. Don't follow me. It's a waste of your time. Other than that, I pop up around the internet doing these things every once in a while. And yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you, Sin, for the opportunity and for making this fantastic story. You know, I always love playing with you, man.
Thank you. And do we have other volunteers since emotional recovery may still be taking place? Okay, Percival.
I am Abhilasha/Percival, and I have been your disgraced butch knight in seek of purpose and redemption. Suneri Dewdrop. When I started playing this character, it was one of the first type of characters I played that I was like, I want this character to be a mess. This person has died having so much blood on her hands, and it has been essentially for nothing. And the first season you kind of see is just like her confronting her demons and nearly being killed and being rescued by the first genuinely kind people that she's ever met and who kind of adopted her as their friend. And second season was her dealing with the voices in her head, how scary and overwhelming it is, but also becoming a keeper of souls in a way, becoming a home for these people, having that mental personal connection with them. And I'm really happy I got to tell that story to its completion. Like, I've come a long way. Obviously, there's been quite a bit of gap between episodes of season 2, but I have come a long way, and getting to close out her story feels really great to have, come that far in all the TTRPGs I've been playing. I love this system, and I love playing with all of you, and you guys have been amazing, and I'm very, very grateful to have played with all of you, and all your characters are so lovely, and I really hope we get to play something soon. So I don't really have a lot going on, but I might have something going on later. I do have a regular campaign on Mondays. Monday, which around 5:30 a.m. Indian Standard Time. I don't know what the PST and Pacific Standard Time for the thing is. Please don't ask me. On on the channel Lantern Light. I hate American time zones. Lantern Light Adventures. On their channel, I am playing a game called in the I'm sorry, did you say Streets for No One, where I play a fuckboy rogue half demon lesbian who is busy creating chaos and being a general uncommunicative menace to her team members. A little different from this character, just a tad. Uh, So that, and I'm also currently preparing for the for another game of Call of Cthulhu that I'm going to be playing with a bunch of friends on the, let me check the name of the channel. 1 second. Where am I? Come on, Discord. On Adventures from the Almanac. Uh, I cannot give any more clues because honestly, we still have to you have to get stuff together, but it is going to be frozen themed. It's going to be ice, and don't dig into the ice unless things come out, and then bad things happen, kind of eldritch horror vibes, because it's Call of Cthulhu. So that might happen around Sundays, but we still have to decide dates. You can keep an update on that on my social, on Blue Sky, on my Blue Sky at ombre, that is OMBRE, lesbiannight.bluesky.com. I have my blog pinned there where I have all my stories, and the TTRPG books I have contributed, world building and stuff too. So go check the blog out, it has all the links. You can also check that out on Drive Through RPG under Daylight Publications. So Yahoo.
Awesome. And Abhishek, would you like to go?
Yeah, I was about to say, might as well get it out of the way.
Go for it.
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Ibishek Watange. I've been playing Firion, our lovely archer, or actually, I should say, I should go by his real name, Altair. I've had a great time playing this campaign. Firion was like, I think when I made him, I didn't really do a lot of comedic characters a lot, so I think Firion was definitely an experiment, and I'm really glad I got to develop him in the way I did, honestly. Yeah, honestly, this was super fun. This is I would honestly love to play another campaign with any of you guys if you ever ask. So yeah, it's a yes. But as for other stuff and socials, you can find me doing. For socials, you can find me on the Bird site at neon_Raiden. Same with Blue Sky, just neon Raiden .bluesky.com, or however that works. And on Instagram at _VO. I'm a voice actor / TTRPG performer and a lover of all things tokusatsu. So Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Ultraman, the works. So I love any of that. As for stuff I'm doing, I do have one project that I'm currently in at the moment. So you can find me over on Wednesdays at Bad House RPG for the last few episodes of Slumber, a liminal horror series, very Silent Hill-esque vibe. So if you like that, please come check it out. We've got 2 episodes left in the series, so highly recommend you check it out. You can also catch the VODs over at Bad House RPG's YouTube channel as well. Other than that, I don't have any other project at the moment, so if you want to send me a casting call or feel like it would be good, please feel free to send me anything, either on Twitter or social media. Yeah, yeah. That's basically my spiel. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm gonna do this before Sin has to do a call on people. Also, I'm sorry, I'm very glad that I don't have a camera right now. Hello, I am Keldry. Pronouns are am, air, and they, them, and I have been, Fen, your very, very, out of time spirit of the mountain that just ended up as way too human by the end of this game. I I can't think a bunch, so I'm just going to say you can find me on YouTube on the channel Mossling. The name is at Starlit Moss. I do art. I draw. I have a composer creator friend who we will do I will do art videos to his music, and I am going to be working on a short horror visual novel that is not very long. It is a very short, like, just experiment with my artwork and his music. And I will probably be posting clips on that. Most of my YouTube channel, though, is much calmer, fantasy adventure, travel through a wonderful land called Book of Travels. If you are a Ghibli fan, it is a great game and it deserves a lot more love than it gets. If you don't necessarily want to just play a wander around, look at everything game, I play and live stream videos of it, and the soundtrack is gorgeous, and if you just need time to sit in a tea house, it's a wonderful place to be. Aside from that, I'll probably be putting more Elden Ring and other things up there if you need more of an Ironsworn feel video game kick. Coming up in May, I know Nerds with Dice is going to be starting probably Viltime, which is a game by awfully queer heroes. So if you want to support queers and awesome nerds, please check out their Kickstarter. I think it's done, but they definitely have some fun stuff over there. And I will either be here in May or I will possibly be over at Singularity Roleplay in May or June, whenever some of for a couple of once a month games. So thank you all, that was wonderful. And thank you, Sin, for being a absolutely amazing GM, as per usual.
And that leaves us with Danny.
Does it? Does it really?
Don't make me throw my actual bones at you.
My name is Danny's Corner. Oh god. Okay. Hi. Hello. It's what? Hi. Yes. I'm Danny. Oh god. I played Afra. Our little freak who has grown so much, and I'm so happy I got to share this story with all of you. It's just a really beautiful time. And I was really nervous to play again because I didn't know if I was going to be able to convey Afra properly or get back into it. But then I got back into it because you are like really good and just are really comfortable and are awesome and are great storytellers. And so y'all did amazing. If you want to find me online, Jesus Christ, you can find me pretty much everywhere at Danny's Corner. I stream and I upload my stuff on YouTube. Not really, but I try. And I draw. You can commission me to draw stuff for you if you want that. Yeah, you can find me everywhere at some iteration of Danny's Corner, except for on Twitter where it's at Anamina Pizza. Don't ask why. It's on my Twitter where you'll see where you're probably gonna find me next in terms of actual plays. Because my schedule is a mess and I have a poor memory, and so I cannot actually tell you anything ever in my life. But yeah, that was I'm a very emotional person and I really love this game a lot. I'm very happy to have been here to play with all of you. You're all really cool people. Sin, keep one eye open when you sleep.
Oh, I love you too, Danny. thank you all for joining me. I am Synthetic. If you are looking to follow me on socials, you're looking for Synthetic GM on Blue Sky or on Twitch here. I'm hoping soon to actually start streaming again on my personal Twitch channel. Looking to maybe stream some video games and also uh, streaming some maybe TTRPG one shots because unfortunately Queen's Gate Chronicles had to go by the wayside. But always looking to start new things. As far as stuff that's definitely coming up, on the 13th, I will be doing Fragments of Tomorrow's Apocalypse, the City of Mist game with Rise over on Singularity Roleplay. I don't have time for time, so you can follow me to figure those out. And on the 19th of this month, be having the next episode of my City of Mist game, Country of Mist. Looking forward to that. Just gearing up for the supernatural vibes. And lastly, as I close out, I'm trying to get all of life in order. If you have the ability, I'm moving soon, trying to land on my feet after some stuff IRL. So if you have the ability, I've got a Ko-Fi over at ko-fi.com/syntheticgm. Just trying to help with moving expenses. I've had a lot of health problems, so just doing my best to live in the world. As far as the channel stuff goes, you have the ability to join us on Monday, 7:30 Central for This Is Our Town, the Here There Be Monsters series. And April 16th, the Pokemon United one-shot will be available on YouTube. Mark your calendars for this June 20th through the 22nd. Nerds with Dice will be raising money for the Trans Justice Project, something that I have been involved with many times in the past year on Nerds with Dice, and will be again? ? Yes, the answer is yes. I just won't say what I'm doing yet. That you'll have to find out later. And you can find more Nerds with Dice adventures over on YouTube, where you can watch our save VODs. Stay up to date on everything Nerds with Dice by subscribing to the Nerds with Dice Substack. And if you have a story you wish to tell or a game you wish to showcase, the Creators app here is always open and can be found on Blue Sky. Or you can ask for the link in Discord. I think that is everything. Oh no, I didn't look for a place to raid into. Does anybody have places that we could look at?
Oh geez, I don't know who's on right now.
That's where I'm like,
I'm looking.
I have
Oh,
right now that we
there we go.
what was
yeah,
it?
I don't see.
I just put something in chat that you can raid if it's a friend of mine who's streaming. She also does TTRPG content too, so yeah.
Yeah, my go-to Girls Run These Worlds, Entropy Emporium are current and Singularity are currently offline, so I cannot.
There's a name. We got someone.
Okay, yeah. We'll go send a... There we go. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day. And we'll see you another time for another story.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.